everyone from the same culture, I don't have to tell this story, isn't the same. So giving a teacher who doesn't have experience with different cultures a little workshop about what it is to be African American would be very distracting. All right, so people differ within cultures. Cultures change over time. Individuals change by learning styles. So here we are, we're asking teachers who are in classrooms with too many students, coming in some of my districts from 103 languages. Okay? God knows how many cultural faces. To understand the culture. Now, what do successful teachers do in this kind of situation? Many of our teachers are in this situation. They understand that there are two domains, an affective domain and a cognitive domain. And you can't get to the cognitive domain unless you take care of the affective domain. That is how kids feel in the classroom. And you may think that this is an add-on, it's more difficult, but it isn't. Because if I feel good about myself, if I am included in the classroom and in the curriculum, if I relate to what's being taught, if I feel my culture is validated, then I am likely to participate in the classroom. If all those things don't occur, I'm not going to participate. I'll tell you the story of a young man who carpooled me. Just this year, he was the valedictorian of my son's school. One year he came and he said, he heard that our family was going to the southern part of Africa, and he said, oh, I couldn't go to Africa. I said, the whole continent you couldn't go? He said, oh, no. And I knew he was quite wealthy, so I was like, why? He said, it's dirty. The next year he came and he said, they were talking, he said, there's no reason for me to study any literature that comes from Latin America. We all know that all the best writers are either European or American. Now, this child was a valedictorian of his class. Not only do we need to feel sorry for him because he has a faulty education, but imagine the attitude that he's communicating to the other students in the class who, before they can learn, need to feel good about who they are and where they come from. All right, how does the teacher do this? Obviously, you relate teaching to a student's everyday life. How do you find out about a student's everyday life? I mean, if there are 103 people in classes, I mean, they're not 103 in a classroom, but okay. Some people do interest inventories in the class with the students, with the parents of their English language speakers. They do a skills assessment. They do a learning styles assessment. Maybe they do 2 or 3 learning styles assessment. And do they keep this information secret? No. One of the key things to successful teaching is teaching metacognitive skills. That is teaching your students how they learn best. Because if they're going to be involved, they have to be advocates for themselves. For them to be advocates for themselves, they have to know about their own culture and that in their culture they like to work in groups. They have to know that. They have to know about their learning style. They have to know about their skill levels, so a teacher does that for themselves and the students. They talk about the diversity in the world. It's very interesting that children may be a minority in this country, but a majority in the world. If you give a world perspective, it helps Euro-American people understand multiculturalism and globalism, but it also helps, oh my God, okay. They promote equity, they foster a positive relationship with parents, and it's very important that they teach the hidden curriculum. Now, what do I mean by the hidden curriculum? All right, a student comes up to me and they're screaming. I mean, I've had this happen a lot of times. They come up to me, they're very upset, they're screaming at me, they're calling me names, they're cursing, right? Now, as a white woman, I could be afraid because they come in from another culture, or I could say very quietly, I understand that you're upset, and I understand that you're expressing yourself. But when you talk that way, loudly and using curse words, in an educational environment, it is not likely that the people here are going to hear you. They are going to punish you, and you're going to get a second punishment when you're already upset about the first. I said the way to succeed is know how to act in different situations. On the street, you do one. In the classroom, you do another. Maybe in the office, you do another. Okay, the hidden curriculum. Make our kids not only understand switching, but understand a multiplicity of how you act in the classroom, out of the classroom. Get them engaged. You want them engaged in their own learning. You want to teach them metacognitive skills. You want to challenge them to be the center of their own learning, to be their own advocates. When I sent my two children to college, the most important thing I taught them, both of them severely LD, is how to learning disabled, how to advocate for themselves. How to go up, how to ask, how to talk, how to find out who in that school is. Once you get a child to advocate for themselves, to believe in themselves, then they can have a bad teacher or two, because they won't be turned off forever. Okay, I'm going to end with a culturally competent teacher uses cultural knowledge to promote successful cross-cultural communication and expands the horizons of students by including rich cultural diversity into the classroom. Thank you.